final topic, and this is going to be a fun one, about diversity. This year, if I listed it, I tried to make a list of everything that seems to have, I mean, Guy mentioned KSI, you mentioned Mighty Number 9, Penny Arcade, the Dickwolves situation again. Also, there's a leaked document just today from a proposed plan for the Penny Arcade Expo to have minorities in kind of a safe area. So I'm going to try and put this first question as kind of positively as possible. So, in terms of diversity, where are we in terms of basically getting acceptance that everyone... I'm trying to word this the best I can, because this panel here is a really great collection of people, and the fact that there's all these people always screaming about different, especially women, is ridiculous. Sorry, I don't mean to go on a tangent, but it annoys me because I'm I used to be a guy, and to bring up something like my point, I used to be a guy in high school secondary school that wasn't well liked because I was a geek, and now that stuff is cool, apparently. I don't know. And I'd always think, oh, I want to bring other people into this. I want people to like the things I like, and now other people like the things I like, and that seems to be a bad thing. So, as a general point, where are we in terms of getting this acceptance to not have the internet scaling over every 5 seconds? I don't know how to start that.
Where are we? That's a big question. We're not there yet, certainly,
no.
by any means. I think another great recent example of a thing that happened was Zoe Quinn's experience of Depression Quest being on Greenlight, and just the horrible backlash she got as a result of that. I don't know, I suppose in my more sort of optimistic of moments, I feel like all this shit is... Sorry, I don't know if I'm just okay. I think all of this is just a result. In my more optimistic moments, I hope that this is a result of things actually changing, and we get more pushback as things change. I don't know. From my perspective, I just do all I can to try and enact that change, diversity was a very important thing for me in developing Red Shirt, because that is kind of core to just who I am, so I don't know, that's a big question, but I think we're not there yet.
I think the fact that we're having these conversations more and more often is the most positive thing I've seen in a long time. It's these are conversations that have needed to be had for a long time, and these have been problems for a long time, and we're finally getting to the point where, while the internet is very vocal when it's being angry at people for existing, there's also people who are parts of minority groups that are becoming more and more vocal about, no, we're gonna fight and tell you why you're wrong, and we're gonna make a big deal, we're not gonna let this go away. And we've still got a long way to go in terms of diversity, but I think we're on the precipice. Something's about to happen. It could be a year, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, but I think that this is the beginning of this movement where people aren't going to go down quietly and just let these things go. People are raising a fuss and saying, no, these things are not right. We do need to rally behind these people who are having vitriol thrown at them. We've got to stand up against the problems we're seeing. I think that, in terms of games, we're getting more and more games that are doing that. We've got a long way to go in terms of the actual games themselves as well. Yesterday, the new Walking Dead season launched, and I played the first episode of that. You play as a young girl, and she's Clementine is a really well put together character. I've never played a game where you're playing as a young woman that did such a good job of developing a character as that. So we're definitely making positive progress, but we've got a long way to go.
I'm the wrong person to ask on this panel. I'm a 30-year-old geeky white man. There's about 1 million of me in this industry. No, I will say that the panel here is the first time I've seen a panel that is mostly men usually in the video game industry, obviously. But I think that I don't know. not to sort of belittle the horrifying stuff that happens in this industry, but there's a new one of these stories every week where there's like some, like, I think, is that Penny Arcade thing, is that real, or like, is that a joke? I don't even know anymore. You told me like the next Penny Arcade Expo you had to go topless or pantsless. I'd be like, is that real? Or yeah, it could be real. There is a story like that comes out every single week, and it's pretty horrifying. And I genuinely don't have too much to add to it. I don't know if that's, maybe you have more to say.
I think things are better these days. I think things like Twitter are good and bad all the time, but they are starting conversations and things can get spread. So like the Depression Quest game is like 200k like a minute, so that's really great. But I think when I started university, I did a games design degree, and there were so many girls in there. And I never really thought about anything like feminism like that before university, and I started thinking about it when boys would be like, oh, you're only here because you've got a boyfriend and all this kind of thing. So that really prompted me to think about gender in games. I was about 18 and I was looking at all of these books about gender in games. Well, I think all of them, there weren't that many at the time. And it really makes me sad that a lot of those books are still relevant, because we're still getting AAA games with like 1 or 2 female characters in them, characters that are super hypersexualized, just really rubbish, and still getting like white male protagonists, and it's just really annoying. Like I really feel like with the kind of mainstream games, we're just not getting anywhere. It's really frustrating. I mean, there are really amazing things happening in the industry, but the mainstream media don't see that. And I'm in quite a public like role at the DNA, and I'm constantly having to be like, not all games are like that. No, actually, there's lots of good games that have female protagonists, and it's just really tiring. And I really think that a lot of publishers need to like wake up and realise this.
I'd love to see GTA.
That would be the most badass thing in the world, wouldn't it? It would just be amazing. I mean, they'd probably ruin it. I think they'd have good intentions, but they'd somehow be even more sexist in the process, perhaps. But I think it would be pretty badass if they released some like really great DLC. I think it could go.